most rewarding championship that I've ever been involved in.
Momentum's up.
This championship is one of the hardest in the world.
There he is! The guy that just follows us around at every track. Come on in, I'll show you around. No, I can do it better. This is how I'd normally get in. Now, little keyboard, like I'm doing a bit of studying. I think, to be fair, it helps with like visual points. So like, don't get me wrong, I don't think you could set a car up off the back of it, but I do think you can kind of refresh your memory on certain tracks, especially when you haven't been there for a while. It does help just to have visual references. So you'll know like, oh, certain curb points or certain bumps are where like you'll want to be on the brakes and that type of stuff. So I think in terms of prep, like coming up to a race weekend, I would do quite a bit on it just to like get my eye in. Because what I always find like is the first 5 laps in free practice are always the most important, because that's when you're getting up to speed. And if you feel comfortable in the car, it makes a big difference. No, we went straight from the trailer home into Lauren's parents' house while they finished this house. Yeah. And then once the house was done, then we moved here.
I tell you, you'll never appreciate walls that don't move.
Yeah.
Until you live in the trailer for 2 years.
Yeah. My values attached to Archie. And Fitz. Where's Fitz? He's almost gotten a bit heavy for this carrying. Oh, I think they're gonna have a little scrap. They love each other. He's like, have you seen this lad? Look at him. Look how much Archie's trying to like antagonize Fitz to get up. What are you doing, bud? Oh, it's our honeymoon. We went to Disney for 2 weeks for our honeymoon. And we're going back there in January because I feel it's the one place that no matter what age you are, you can pretend to be a child. This is Archie. He's like the main man. He's all that I really care about. Aren't you, bud? You should go be front, right and center. The best part of every race weekend is coming home to him. 100%. Like, I have no second thoughts of that. I would say it's the hardest part of racing is leaving him at home. Because like, I actually miss him so much over the course of a few days. It's so hard. My home life is still centered around racing. Like, yes, people say there's only 10 race weekends over the course of the season, but actually everything around the year is focused on those 10 weekends. The most peaceful time of the race weekends or my whole season is when I'm actually in the car. Like, the home life is probably the hardest part because that's when you're working towards like working with sponsors and working with event activations and everything else that goes around it. So you only really see a snippet of what the season is, where when I'm at home, it's a full-time commitment. And it's nice, like obviously, I don't really mind the training side of it. In fact, I really enjoy the fitness side of it. So that becomes a lot of what I would do when I'm at home and training little Archie. So yeah, my home life is still motorsport. You just don't get to see it on ITV4. The prep for race weekends is relentless. Like, I've always been one of those people that is meticulous in what I do. So if I set my mind to something, I want to be the best at it. Because motorsport, in my opinion, is a game of variables. The more variables you can reduce, the greater chance of success you have. And that's with car setup, that's with your fitness, that's with your sim work, your track notes. It's all about reducing those bits that you can have control over. So racing is my full-time commitment. And I'm very fortunate in that position. You know, it's probably taken 5 or 6 years to get to the point where I can solely focus on it and we can make a career in it. And I do think it's credit to what the British Touring Cars are, because I've tried different championships and it's never offered the career opportunities that the British Touring Cars have. So in that sense, I'm like, this is my dream. So for me, Lauren probably plays the most important role of anyone in my racing bubble. You know, she is the only voice that whenever I see red that I can actually hear. You know, and she not just helps me with the driving, she also is what is a key part of all of our sponsors. So it's a combined effort. And I would be under no false illusions that there is no way I could go racing if it wasn't for Lauren. And yes, the race weekends are hard, but if anything, it brings us closer. So like we've been together since the age of 17, and I wouldn't want to go racing without her there. So yeah, like I think what success is different for different drivers. You know, take Ash Sutton, take Colin Turkington, take Tom Ingram. So their success is only going to be marked by wins and podiums, where yes, that would have been lovely for us. The goal of what I want to achieve is a long-term career. I want to stay in the touring car paddock for as long as I can, and I want to see a team and car develop, which to me is what my markers of success will be from the 2021 year. Aaron now would tell championship winning Aaron to not lose faith in what you're doing. Motorsport, like, it's very much an ego battering sport because you're either at the front or you're not. So sometimes, like, you can't help but have questions of self-doubt. You can't help think, you know, is this car good enough? Am I good enough? Is the championship going to fall in our favor over the course of the next few years? And one thing I kind of pride myself is, like, I probably have absolute confidence in my own self, which is a really odd thing to say, and I hope it doesn't come across arrogant or anything like that. But I know in my core that I can deliver when everything is right. And it's just about putting everything in place. So yeah, I think telling championship winning Aaron that these years are going to be worth it is the only message I would say, and don't ever lose sight of that. You watch the moments where the fireworks are going off on the final podium of the year and you see the team celebrating that have won the championship. And I think that's when it settles in that all the hard work is worth it. All the sacrifices, all the sleepless nights worrying about will the car be quick enough, will the sponsor sign off, will that engineer be good enough, will that mechanic be good enough, are worth it. The British touring cars is a relentless grind. You know, it's a 24/7, and to win in it, you have to be at the top of your game. You have to sacrifice beyond belief. But that moment, when those fireworks are going off, when you have a moment in the car by yourself, it all becomes worth it.
The Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship arrives in North Yorkshire for its annual visit to the tricky circuit here at Croft, where it's great to have the fans back in force. And unusually, there's clear daylight appearing at the top of the championship standings, a 30-point lead for Ash Sutton after a performance at Thruxton 3 weeks ago that really underlined his credentials as a double touring car champion.
Rolling into Croft, 7th meeting. I'm feeling pretty confident. Looking at the championship and the results, we're above expectations, that's for sure. Thruxton was a key part to giving us a leg up, or should we say a race in hand. But to come into Croft now with a 30-point lead is by far above where we expected to be. Obviously, we know how quick it can change in touring cars. One bad result and it pulls them back in. So as much as I'm not a driver to think about championship and just bag them points, it's maybe where I've got to adjust my mentality. Looking sort of back at what I've done here, obviously Clio's, I've raced this support series, or what used to be a support series of touring cars, was mega for me here. We've had many wins here in terms of in the Subaru, but if you're looking at some of the lows, 2017 qualifying, that dreaded accident that happened with Luke, Aaron and Jeff Smith, and if I'm honest, it was one of those where it was either hit a car or hit a wall, and I chose wall. So like I said, I've had a real mix of results and experiences here, but the majority of them have been on the highs.
Croft is a circuit. It's funny. It's one of the tracks that I actually won my first ever car race around here. I really like this place. It has a great mix of high and low speed. So to me, it's a really challenging track. You can't just rely on the car to deliver. You have to really wring its neck around here. I'm really excited. Last time I was here, I had a pretty big old mishap.
It's a huge amount of damage. Aaron Taylor-Smith's car has been hit. Anybody else? Yes, the Audi.
So in some sense, I'm looking forward to getting back out on track and being able to show everyone that I'm good around here, and I always have been. So it'll be nice to kind of get to flex those muscles and put, was it 2017 behind us?
Wow, 7th round, where has the time gone? It's been a lot of fun this year, you know, actually racing with fans and getting to learn this new challenge of mine, going rear-wheel drive. Croft is a great circuit. I love Croft. Actually, out of the last 9 races I've actually done here, I've had 4 podiums. And if I don't get a podium this weekend, which will be my 4th year in a row, if we can definitely say it's because I can't drive a rear-wheel drive car. Croft circuit's brilliant, okay? It's got a bit of everything. It's got change of direction, it's got high speed, and it's got some real low speed corners which should benefit the traction of a rear-wheel drive car. On my car, I seem to not be able to gain any traction whatsoever. I actually think I can accelerate quicker in a front-wheel drive car. And I think that's down to the fact I'm such a big driver. And I just don't think I can get enough weight in the back to get the traction, which is fundamentally half of my issue, I think.
Green flag shown at the rear of the grid is the prelude to round 20 of the Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship. Aidan Moffat launches away from pole position, so does Colin Turkington, who makes a really good start then from row 2.
Turkington, is he going to get this one done again? Oh, there's contact!
But Senna Proctor has got the inside line for the hairpin, so Cook gets run out wide. End of the lap, Hill, Moffat, then Proctor, then Cook, and that is Tom Chilton in strife at the complex, and so also Rory Butcher off the road, and that's a damaged Toyota. Jake Hill will take the first win of the season in race 2, the second of his career. He's second in the championship, he's been banking points, but this is a proper race win. Up to the line, the MB Motorsport Ford Focus in the hands of Jake Hill wins at Croft.
It's annoying because I honestly think I would have got on the podium. I felt faster than everyone. But I felt so much quicker than everyone. Annoying. Yes, I got a great start. I was up into, I don't know, P9 or something like that, by Tower on the first lap, just like halfway around the lap. So I got from 11th to like 8th or 9th or something. I was doing a really good job. And then I got pushed wide by Dan Lloyd, came back across, and then Tom Ingram then pushed me hard and nearly put me in the wall of Barcroft, which is like the fastest, most dangerous corner. Managed to hold on like a race god in my Car Gods 3 Series BMW, pull it back on the track, then lost a couple more. Then just I thought it was all under control. I got hit so hard from behind by Team Hard's Cupra. I don't know if it was Goff or Taylor Smith, I don't know which one. They hit me so hard that it spun me and pushed me so hard into some of the cars in front. Ended Rory Butcher's race as well. I'm pointing the wrong way with the cars coming towards me. I don't know who it is, but they need to seriously come and apologise. It was bang out of order.
Race 2, really good start. I think we jumped 2. Unfortunately, I never like to give out about people when they don't have the opportunity to defend themselves. So we'd have come together with Carl Bordley. I went and chatted to him just to kind of clear the air, because I hate when people give out without other people having the opportunity to give their opinion. It was one of those incidents that, in my opinion, could have been avoided, but unfortunately it wasn't. But it's water under the bridge now. I don't care at all, and I know, from speaking to Carl, it won't happen again. So that fills me with confidence. Oh yeah, I felt bad because Tom is the funniest guy. So I think in race 2, we came into the final complex and I was right up behind him. So he saw my car behind him, and then into the first hairpin, he got hit so hard that it lifted him off the ground. So he assumed it was me, but it was Carl Bordley who hit me and then hit Tom as well. So I went and chatted to him just to be like, that wasn't me.
So I just went to go do Q&A,
yeah.
And one of the sponsors came up and said, "I stood on the bank, I videoed it, Tom, I videoed it."
Yeah.
And I go, "Look, it's so funny, when he had it on pause to show me, your car was exactly in line with my car.
Yeah.
Then when he pushed play, you saw then another white one on the inside, and I was I saw that your light, number,
and you would assume it was me.
But what happened is, I guess Bordley has got on the grass and
then
nowhere.
just decided.
Yeah,
because he lifted your car up. I remember being like, I can see under that
on the
car.
video, I was just showing off my derriere.
A weekend to bite the bullet, I think, is a perfect little summary in one. But race 1, I made good progress. Pace was good in the car. We got past the guys on the soft tyre quite quickly in the opening stage of the race. And we kind of then just settled in and accepted that we were going to sort of be around that position. Obviously, we're going to lose a bit of weight and put the correct tyre on for race 2, and that was the plan. But yeah, it didn't quite go to plan in race 2. It's I think a few people left their brains in the pit lane, to put it kindly. But the car come back looking second hand. We got pushed about a little bit. A few of us did, to be fair. It wasn't just me. So we didn't really get a prime opportunity in terms of maximising that soft tyre and that less weight. And 1 minute we're P9, 1 minute we're P4. It was just such a yo-yo race. It was hard to take because in my head I was fixed on a podium and fight for a win, but unfortunately the dice weren't rolled my way. I think these back-to-back weekends are great. It keeps the driver's mindset fully alive in terms of racing. You don't switch off when you go away. So I'm buzzing to roll it straight into Silverstone in sort of 4 days' time. But it's tough on the teams. The teams have got a big ask now. They've obviously got 3 cars to turn around. Normally I allow a week for the cars. We're doing it in 3 days. It's a big ask, but credit to them for this next week that they've got planned. And yeah, we're going to be coming up to Silverstone and hopefully pushing hard.